What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all having a great day. I'm hoping I can go about 2.5 inches lower, but I think 2 inches is all I'm gonna get. The truck is currently sitting on stock leaf springs and 3-inch lowering blocks. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be ripping these leaf springs out. I'm gonna be putting Nissan 720 4x4 leaf springs in, and I'm also going to be doing 4-inch tapered blocks to help with the pinion angle. This right here is going to be my lowering kit. Now I know a lot of people are going to be a little confused as to why I am installing 4x4 leaf springs. Now I'm pretty excited to test out these 4x4 leaf springs. These came out of a 1985 Nissan 720 King Cab that I got at the junkyard. I got these about a year ago and I think I paid $80, so it wasn't bad at all. And it's a upgrade for sure for two reasons. For one, it lowers the truck inch to inch and a half, and two, being that they are stiffer. So the 4x4 leaf springs are about 450 pounds per square inch versus the stock two-wheel drive ones are about 300 pounds per square inch, and that is how you measure the stiffness on a leaf spring. Obviously, the higher the number, the stiffer they are; the lower the number, the softer they are. Now, I know some people are going to be confused as to why I am installing 4x4 leaf springs, because they're going to think that that is going to raise a truck. But the way Nissan designed these trucks, on a 4x4, the leaf spring actually runs over the axle, and in order to compensate that roughly, what is it, like 4 inches, they have to make their leaf springs slightly straighter so the truck isn't insanely tall. The 4x4s are obviously a little bit more heavy duty, so they are stiffer, which is perfect for a sporty feel and a two-wheel drive. That, combined with the 4-inch blocks, which is an inch more of block that I'm running, should give me about a 2 to 2.5 inch drop. Along with that upgrade, I'm also going to be throwing in some polyurethane leaf spring bushings. I'll try to put the link where I got those. I believe I got those on Amazon, but if I do have a link, it'll be down in the description. That way you guys can purchase the same exact kit. But that is going to be the bushings that go in here in the eyelid. That is definitely going to be an improvement over the old and blown out rubber ones. We're gonna have some nice stiff polyurethane. Alrighty, well, I think I've talked enough, so I think it's time to jack up the truck and start to rip the rear end out of it. What I've done so far is I got some ratchet straps, and I ratchet strapped the axle up to the frame. I also have the jack stands over there holding the frame up. I'm gonna take these bolts off. I'm gonna pull the leaf springs out, take the 4 underneath the U-bolts for the lowering blocks. I'm just gonna pull the leaf springs out and then slide the new ones in. I think both those up. And then once I have those in, I'll probably jack up the axle a little more to get that up in the air. And then once I do that, I'll be able to slide my blocks in and do like a normal block install. Alright, well, we got the passenger side leaf spring out. Driver's side still in there, but I just want to show you guys real quick the difference just side by side, just sitting here. Over here we have the 4x4 leaf spring, and over here we have the two-wheel drive. So obviously you can see there's a big difference. No matter how you put it, it's just it's flatter. And once again, it's stiffer, so I would only imagine that lower and stiffer just automatically means better. Over here we have a 4-pack, and over here we only have a 3-pack. So in my eyes, if I wanted to use this truck for work, which I do sometimes, it's honestly going to be better with these leaf springs because I'll be able to haul more load with it squatting less. So right here I have 2 big ones for one side, which is technically the front side, and then I have small ones for the back. Now we got the backs. Now I have to do the bushings on the frame of the truck, which are the ones up here. I'm gonna have everything hand tight. I'm gonna set it on the ground, and then that way when there's actual weight on it and a little bit of load, then I'll finally torque everything down. Because especially with bushings like this, if you were to tighten it super tight like this, and then once it tries to articulate, it's just gonna try to grab the bushing and kind of twist it. So that's why you want it to be loose so it twists freely, and then once it's at its right height, then you tighten it, you fully torque it. I still have to put the nut over there on that one bolt for the front, but I'll do that real quick off camera. It's crazy how much of a difference, because over there, if I wanted to, I could fit like a 6-inch block because of the gap that they have. And over here, I can't even fit a 4-inch block. I'm gonna have to raise the axle up more. So you can see the big difference right there. I'll see if I can get it over here. Yeah, you can see that one is pretty arched versus this one is, it looks arched as well, it's just a lot less obviously comparing it to that. So now I got to pull that leaf out, swap in the new one that we got over there, and then we'll throw the blocks on. But I'll do that off camera, that way you guys have already seen this. It's the same process over there. Alright, well, I got the blocks in. Everything is torqued as far as the U-bolts. Now I just need to put it on the ground and tighten up the rest of the way. But I'm going to put it down real quick, and I'm going to show you guys a trick to do up there on the dry shaft. As you can see, it's pretty gnarly right now. So the little trick that I have is to somehow shim this bearing up a little so the dry shaft isn't so far down. Because from factory, it comes from up there from the trans, and it comes down a little, and it would come down even more to about right here. But now that we have the truck slammed, the pinion's all the way up there, so when that goes up there, this stays down, and then the drive shaft goes kind of from up to down to back up. Obviously you can see that the drive shaft carry bearing is completely shot and it's non-existent. I am going to be fixing that. I actually just ordered that. I did have one already that I was going to put in here, but I ended up giving it to my dad, so now I don't have one. But I just ordered one, so I'll do that. And if you guys are interested in seeing how to change that bearing, I'll make a video on it. But I just want to get this spacer in there, that way I could show you guys this for when you guys lower your trucks, so I can get this video out. But essentially all we're going to do is, you have that bolt right there in the center of the screen, and you have that one right there, and it's a nut and bolt. And you can see right there in the center is where we're going to space it. You could either put washers or you could put nuts. I'm going to be using these nuts just because they are the exact same size. And I think a washer or multiple washers would kind of chafe on each other and eventually wear themselves out. Where this is just a nut, so there's not much chafing. There's only chafing on 2 surfaces versus like 10. If that makes any sense. I'm going to be raising it about 1 inch. That's why I'm using 1-inch nuts. You can do more, you can do a little bit less if you want. It's all up to you. I would say the more the better, but you also don't have too much room with these bolts. You do have quite a bit of extra threads. This is the before, and that right there is the after, with the nuts as the spacers. Honestly, it lowered more than I thought it was. My goal was always to drag the mud flaps, and now you can see that they're pretty stuck. So honestly, I think I'm right where I want to be. I wouldn't mind, you know what? I wouldn't mind a little low. But now the crazy part is the front was super low compared to the rear, so it was raked like that, really bad. So now the rear is so low that I have to lower the front more in order to rake it, because in my eyes, when you have a pickup truck, the front always has to be lower no matter what. It's a mini truck, it's a rake, it has to have rake. So I think I'm going to try to turn down the torsion bars a little bit. All right, well, now that we have the rear lowered, I'm going to show you guys real quick how to lower the front with the torsion bars. Now, there is multiple ways of lowering the front. There is drop spindles, but in order to run drop spindles, you have to run a minimum of a 15-inch wheel. I'm running 14-inch wheel, factory Nissan 720 ST wheels, which are 14s, so I can't run a drop spindle because the inner barrel of the wheel would hit the lower control arm. If not, I would love to run drop spindles. It would ride amazing. However, I'm running 14-inch wheels. Once I upgrade to my 15-inch cookie cutters, then I'll get drop spindles and then we'll do it that way. But for now, I'm just gonna adjust the torsion bars real quick. Now, the way I like to do it is I like to jack up the front and get the wheel in the air. Now, you don't have to do it this way, but I find it so much easier to lift and to raise with the torsion bar since there is no load or weight on them. And I know some people don't understand what a torsion bar is, but it's essentially the spring and it's what holds your ride height. The shock is simply there to absorb the shock of a bump. So if you were to take your shock out, your truck wouldn't lower anymore, it wouldn't raise it anymore, it would just stay exactly how it is because your torsion bar is what holds it up. If you tighten your torsion bar, your truck is not going to get any stiffer, it's not going to change. All you're changing is the ride height. The way you find your torsion bars is you go down here to the front of your truck. This right here is your torsion bar. You see there's one on that side and there is one right here. I'm touching it. So what you want to do is you want to follow it back all the way up to right here, which these are your torsion bar keys. This is what kind of holds the torsion bar in place. So what you want to do is you want to loosen this bolt right here. I believe it's a 17 millimeter. Now I'm not too sure. It's a long bolt and there's one nut on the top. So you want to hold the top nut. I don't know what size it is off the top of my head, but you want to hold that. Might be one or it might be two nuts. I'm not too sure. But you want to hold that nut and you want to, in a sense, loosen this or unscrew it, and your torsion bar will drop and it'll lower the truck. Now you have to be careful with 720s because 720s, the more you lower it, the more that this will hang down and the easier of a chance it is to get caught on stuff. Nissan fixed that on the hard bodies. So on the hard bodies, it's backwards. The lower you go, the more these tuck in, which is pretty cool. But on these, you have to be careful on that. You also have to be careful not to go too low, because if you go too low, then you're going to be sitting on your bump stop, which you can remove your bump stop. It'll ride a little better. It depends on how low you go. But if you go way too low, then your shock will end up bottoming out and you're just going to end up blowing your shock. And it's still going to be pretty much like riding on bump stops because it's going to be bottomed out all the time. Now all I have to do is just give it a little clean, get this thing ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to be going to the Exotic One second annual picnic in Dockweiler Beach. So that's going to be fun, taking the truck out to the beach for the first time. I've honestly been having so much fun with this truck. I've been driving it so much, more than all my other trucks. And I think a big part of that is that there is now a mini truck scene. Now that there wasn't before, it just wasn't as big and there wasn't as much stuff going on. Where now I feel like there's an event now, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, regardless of what it is. You know, there's always a mini truck event now, which I honestly love. So I feel like I'm actually getting to enjoy this truck, not like my other ones where I got to build them, but I couldn't really show them off or anything like that because there wasn't really that much of a scene or popularity. So I'm glad that I'm able to take this one out, show it out, talk to you guys. I know that's a big thing I love, is when you guys come up to me, you guys talk to me, show me your trucks. That is honestly one of the best feelings out there, getting recognized by you guys. And I've seen a couple guys and a couple people have hit me up and tell me that they saw me, but that they didn't talk to me because I was talking to someone else. Guys, if you see me, come up, say what's up. We'll talk for probably an hour or so. I won't stop talking. I'll probably won't even let you go and walk around because I'll just be talking to you. So if you guys see me, just come up to me, talk to me. If you see that I'm talking to someone else, come in, join on the chat. We're not going to get offended. You know, we're all out there to spread love, spread knowledge. And that's pretty much all we do when we go out there, is we all talk mini trucks. So if you want to hear what we talk about, just go in there, squeeze your way in, and listen to us talk about mini trucks. And you might learn something, or you might have some questions, and we'll just, you know, chat it up. But I don't think I'll get this video uploaded in time to let you guys know that the picnic is tomorrow. So that's kind of unfortunate. But if you guys want to see events that I go to or things like that, I would recommend that you guys follow me on Instagram, which is where I usually post on my stories events that are coming up and events that I attend. That way you guys can bring out your trucks and show them off. And I know a lot of people will say like, oh, my truck doesn't have nice paint, I don't want to bring it out, this and that. Come on guys, look at my truck, and I'm in the middle of building it. And I know a lot of you guys are in the middle of building your trucks and you guys are kind of like embarrassed to bring them out, but bring them out, park next to a show truck, you know, let them see the before, and then in a couple months show them the after. Yeah, if your truck doesn't have nice paint, doesn't have wheels, it's not lower or anything like that, who cares? Bring it, park next to mine, park them all up, just come and have some fun. So tomorrow it's gonna be a pretty busy day. Gonna go to Dockweiler for the Exotic One's second annual picnic of their return, and then after that we're gonna be going to a homegirls kickback in Ontario. So tomorrow's gonna be a pretty busy day. This thing's gonna get a lot of miles put on it. Hopefully it holds through. I don't see why it wouldn't. It's made it to Bakersfield and back. I've already put hundreds of miles on it, and little setup that I've had it running. So this is a trooper, and I'm honestly super happy that it's running really good. That's going to complete this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and hopefully found this useful. Now, if you guys have any questions, you guys already know what to do. Feel free to leave it down in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Or you guys can hit me up on Instagram, which I also have down in the description, which is where I'm mostly active, and I'll more than likely respond there faster than I will on the YouTube comments.